Good morning and welcome to Living Local 15. I'm Jessica Williams. Thank you so much for joining me. We are kicking off the show exploring the food truck restaurant Fork Fiddle located at Edwin Coe. Then Landmark Recovery joins me in studio to share about their addiction recovery programs. And later we learn all about elder law from Nugen Law. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
Next, we're going to explore the food options available, and joining me right now is Chef Ryan Smith with Fork Fiddle. Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good, doing good. How you doing?
Good, doing good.
Good.
Even better now that I'm smelling the whiffs of this food.
Yeah.
And so super creative. So you own Fork Fiddle. Share with me how you all got started.
We got started. I started as a catering company at first. It was called Ladderback's Lowcountry Catering. I spent a lot of time in South Carolina as a young kid. My mom lived down there, and that's when I got turned on to the lowcountry stuff, and that's where the lowcountry stuff comes from.
Yes.
But we had a catering company. It was a traditional catering company, and we started losing jobs to food trucks for weddings and stuff like that. And then I said, that's not going to happen. And so we ended up going to Georgia and having our trailer custom built for us, and that's how I got into the mobile food business.
Wow, okay, because yes, there has been a large rise in food trucks. I mean, and really, what do you feel as a business owner, the fact that you can now be mobile, do you like that better than having one location?
Well, the goal is to have both.
Yeah.
To have a brick and mortar and then have a mobile food event. But the mobile food allows you to, just like I said, just be mobile, and where you go, there's different locations you can set up, and you're not really tied to the brick and mortar like it traditionally would be.
Yes.
And it helps you expand your market base, your customers. You can do private events with that. It really just helps you expand your brand a lot more. And I think a lot of brick and mortars are catching on to that, and they're adding food trucks to the repertoire, which is very smart. We did it the other way. We added a food truck. Now we want to go to brick and mortar, but now there's 100 food trucks, and they're all serving good food. It's great.
Yes, it's really exciting, and so I'm excited about some of the options that you have provided that's available here. So let's get started. What is this lovely dish?
This is our pub chips, and we serve it with crema ranch and a little bit of sriracha, so it's going to be spicy.
A little spice. I like a little
Maybe
spice.
should have had a bottled water, but I don't know.
Oh, is it that spicy?
Sriracha's not really not that spicy, but it's made fresh from russet Idaho potatoes. We do. They're just fresh into the fryer. We use a mandolin to cut them, so there's no bag chips or anything like that. That's what we use. This one
I like this.
This is really good.
Because it's crunchy, it's light, and it gives a little extra flair to chips.
Yeah, and it's great with cocktails too. It's like, this is our snacky item that we get. A lot of people get it if they've got a few people and they have some cocktails, but they've already had dinner and they come here. This is something they can use to munch on while they're having their cocktails. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, and then the next item.
This one is something that's coming out next week. We had it on our menu before, and we're going to bring it back for next week. Now, this particular one is a shrimp roll, and
this looks so cool.
Yeah, it's stuffed with veg. It's a rice paper wrapper.
Okay, and I just pick it up. Go for it.
Yeah, just pick it up and dunk it in some of that duck sauce there, and then
duck sauce,
yeah. And we always put it on a bed. We're veg forward on our truck. We're about 85% prep on our food truck is veg, so we got a ton of veg, but that has shrimp in it. That particular item, we can do either shrimp, pulled pork, or
you give options.
Yeah, and we do a duck roll too. That's really good. We try to use Maple Leaf Farm duck when we do that. That's when we first started it. We were using Maple Leaf duck on that, but we're going to be rolling that out next week, and it comes on a bed of Napa and red cabbage, so it's kind of like you get 2 rolls and a little bit of salad. Use that sauce as a dressing, and then the lemon squeeze on it's amazing too. So it's really good. Yeah.
It's really interesting. Like I haven't tasted anything like this before, and I like to have fun with
Yeah,
food,
yeah.
and I think that you do. And so, share with me about the low country style of food that you offer.
So the low country style of food, like we have a few items on a truck like these that aren't particularly low country. Low country is the confluence of the Savannah River down in South Carolina. It's the lower country. It's the coastal region. I kind of like call it Southern surf and turf is basically what it is. And we, like I said, I spent some time down there when I was a kid, and I really fell in love with that area and the cuisine. A lot of my favorite chefs are from that area. And we try to use all fresh ingredients and emulate things that they would have available in that region.
Okay.
And Indiana is a great place because we have a decent growing season here. The winter it's a little harder, but the growing season is really good here, and we can get a lot of our fresh veg from farmers markets. We go to Kurt's Farms a lot to get a lot of our veg, but we try to emulate some of the ingredients in the way they cook. It's very fresh the way that they cook down there. It's great. Yeah. And it's fun. You can you can experiment. You can play around with food. It's amazing.
Especially that you did this in a food truck. Yeah. Which is so awesome. Okay. So next up.
So this one you might want to get your napkins ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Not with the other ones. Just with this one.
Yeah. So this is our Korean style taco. It's not a traditional Korean taco. Like we do use the smoked pulled pork. That's the low country component.
Lemon on top?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go for it.
Yep.
Did you say that's the smoked component?
Yeah, the smoked component, and then the fresh veg that we use. We use Napa cabbage, 3 types of quick pickles, which are English cucumbers, red onions, and radishes.
Oh, we'll go for the bottom one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And yeah, it like I said, it's a fun eat. That's for sure. Watch this. This is gonna be great. Yeah. But we use a traditional style Korean barbecue sauce on it. It's got black sesame seeds, the lemon squeeze is good, sriracha, crema ranch, those types of things on it. So it's fun. It's fun to eat. A lot of people. We always everything that we sell, we give them a ton of napkins and forks,
right?
Because it's going to be yeah. So.
And flour tortilla.
Yeah, and we do offer corn as well.
Yeah, I love flour.
I do too.
I feel like corn is taking over.
Corn has taken over. We are in Indiana, but I think the flour tortilla, especially because we char those, we char them over an open flame and give a little bit of that char flavor to it. So it adds to the smoky flavor of it. So it's really good. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, and that is a meal in itself for sure. Yeah.
That it is, Chef. I love it.
Yeah.
Very citrusy. It's very light. And it's also very summery. Like this is the perfect time to eat this on the patio, have a nice fresh cocktail.
Yeah, for sure. The veg forward thing is very, it's just something we do. I mean, like in the summer when the heat's there, people don't want heavy food. And this is something that's really light, and that cilantro adds that freshness at the end. I think it's great. So
it does.
I love that. I love that with an old fashioned. That's pretty good. That's my favorite.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we may need to do Chef Ryan's favorite things. Well, awesome. Well, actually, at the end of choosing items, I do choose Jessica's favorite thing. And Chef and I are in agreement. It's the tacos.
The tacos.
So yummy. So you can experience each of these items and so much more on Fork and Fiddle's food truck located right here at Edwin Coe Spirits. We'll be right back.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
This segment sponsored by Landmark Recovery. Landmark Recovery offers drug and alcohol addiction treatment across the state of Indiana and has several options available to anyone in Indiana seeking treatment. Joining me today is Michelle Doobie, the Vice President of Clinical Quality. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yes, it's so great to have you here and to learn more about Landmark Recovery. So let's just start off by giving an overview about your facility.
Absolutely. So we are a substance use disorder treatment facility. We have a full continuum of care. So we have the highest level being withdrawal management, where someone's coming in, having to get off of substances, and so having pretty close watch by physicians and nurses. And then we go all the way down to outpatient services where you're coming in maybe 3 hours a day, 3 days a week. And then we also have an alumni program that's offered. So it's complimentary, and we encourage people to stay connected for as long as possible.
Oh, I love that. So it's continual care and staying connected to those who have been through your program?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's such an important part of the process.
That's great. And so your facilities are throughout Indiana. How many do you have?
So we have 4 in Indiana. So we have one here in Fort Wayne. That is a female specific treatment program. So it's residential and outpatient services servicing women who have Medicaid as a payer source. We have one location in South Bend and then 2 locations in Indianapolis. And we're looking forward to having a 3rd location in the Indianapolis area.
Okay, wonderful. And at each of your facilities, do you all offer the same treatments, or are they different?
For the most part, they're very similar. We have, there is where we've separated women and men in treatment because it just can create a much more an immersive environment. It's hard when you get those female and male dynamics sometimes. So we had tried that and it worked really well. So we're excited to kind of continue to offer that. But for the most part, our clinical services are the same across all of our locations with over 40 hours of group treatment a week, hour of individual therapy each week, family programming on the weekends, and everything that we do is evidence-based and designed to be treating both substance use disorders and co-occurring mental health issues.
Okay, that's so great. And so when people are deciding if they should come to the facility, is there a certain age range that you all really cater to?
Our only restriction really is they have to be over the age of 18.
Okay.
So we aren't at current day able to treat anyone under the age of 18. That comes with a whole nother element of school and having to have certain needs met. But that's certainly an area of need in our community. And then, making sure we do have people, they have to be able to take care of yourself. Performing what's called activities of daily living, so being able to shower, bathe, do toilets. So there's not an age restriction, but maybe an ability restriction, just we're not an acute care setting.
Yeah. Okay. And I heard this term, dual diagnosis. What is that? Can you explain more and share if each of your facilities offer?
Absolutely. So, I think historically in the industry, people thought, well, you have substance use and you have other kind of mental health issues, anxiety, depression, trauma related disorders, and you got to kind of separate them and treat them separately. But that's, they're so intertwined. Someone asked me, which came first, the trauma or the substance use? I'm like, I don't know. They're both here. So we got to deal with it.
Right.
So we, are always not just treating substance use disorders as that's it and that's all you're getting. Everything that we do is looking at, does someone need to have a psychotropic medication to help with anxiety and depression symptoms that just aren't getting better with the, development of coping skills and removing substances. So those are things that are just, it all goes together. So we treat it together everywhere, our facilities are located.
Yes, and I know this topic is one that's so important, and a lot of people may wonder how to have this conversation with someone in your life, a loved one that may be suffering or going through, or may not know that they're going through substance abuse. So how do you have that conversation? How do you start that type of dialogue?
One could be, reaching out to a professional and, getting some help on how to have that conversation, because when we do have those conversations, most people are coming from a place of, hey, I see this and I see what's happening. You think everything's okay, but like I can see you. And they can become defensive and, reject. And we really want to have maybe some professional guidance that helps facilitate that. So even just, reaching out to a facility like ours, we have admission consultants 24 hours a day who can help say, hey, these are some pointers in how that conversation might go. And I think the biggest one is knowing that the reason people become defensive is shame. And, knowing that they're not alone. This is everywhere. It touches all walks of life. It's really a non-discriminatory problem. So no matter where you live, what you do for a living, your ethnic and racial background, we're all in this together.
Yeah, absolutely. And if someone is interested in learning more about your facility and the different options that you have and the steps in the process to get involved, should they go to your website? Should they call, make an appointment? Do you guys offer consultations?
Yeah, I would say that the best point I can send anyone to is our website. It is full of a ton of information, not just about Landmark, but we have a blog and we have lots of resources for people that are just trying to learn more about how to support their loved ones or support their community. So landmarkrecovery.com, on there you can get in touch with an admission consultant and really learn a lot.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Michelle. It was a pleasure speaking with
Great,
you.
thank you.
And if you would like more information about Landmark Recovery, we'll have their website listed below, and we'll be right back. This segment sponsored by Landmark Recovery.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
This segment sponsored by Nugen Law. Today we're going to talk about protecting your assets as you age, and I'm so excited to speak with J. Brian Nugen, an attorney at Nugen Law. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, doing well, thank you.
Great.
Yes, so let's kick it off and dive right in. Please share with us, what is elder law?
So elder law, we think about traditional estate planning, which is when you're passing, where do your assets go? Are you going through probate, not going through probate? Elder law includes that, but it includes so much more.
Yeah.
It also includes protecting assets. So as you age, if you need help in the home, or if you have an out-of-home placement at a nursing home memory care unit, or you opt to move into something like assisted living, how is it that we protect our assets and still get those benefits to pay for that stay, to pay for that in-home care? So elder law is so much more than just estate planning. It's really looking for us as we age, protecting of assets, and transitioning our wealth to the next generation successfully.
Yes, and it's so interesting. When we spoke before, I just found this topic fascinating.
Thank
I
you.
love the services that you offer.
I appreciate that.
So I'm excited to dive deeper into it and
Please.
really just inform our audience, when is the best time to speak to someone if they are interested in protecting their assets?
Great question. So when we're looking at asset protection, typically my clients that are coming in, that as they are starting to mature, 60s, maybe early 70s, they're recognizing that maybe some of their friends or their family members have had an out-of-home placement or have needed care in the home, and it really drained their resources. So we can look at protecting of assets in advance. I like to call that pre-care planning. So in advance, 5 years or more before you may need the assistance. But it's really never too late. You can always protect assets, even if somebody has already entered the nursing home or maybe entering the nursing home in the very near future, someone that may be moving into an assisted living facility or may need care in the home in the very near future. We still can protect assets even if we didn't do that pre-care planning as I was talking about before.
Right, yes. And so let's dive deeper into the elder law topic and really just understanding those who may have heard of it but may not know how it applies directly to them. Can you give some examples?
If you're looking for who it affects, it would be anyone in our population that's aging, that's thinking about, gosh, I may need a little bit of extra help at home. I may need help understanding Medicare. I may need help understanding Veterans Administration, VA benefits. I may need help understanding Medicaid benefits.
Right.
As well as my estate planning, a traditional will, a traditional trust, those types of things. So elder law covers a huge category of topics for folks as they're aging. And as I'm sure you're aware, we have a very, our population is aging very rapidly right now with the baby boomers.
Right.
Around 10,000 people a day hit the age of 65, and we haven't hit our peak yet.
Yeah.
So it affects a significant portion of our population.
Well, I would say aging rapidly and quite gracefully, I must say.
There you go.
Everyone's looking so great. I can't even believe it.
In my world, not only gracefully, of course, but we want to have them in charge of their own destiny. We want to make sure that our clients are respected and they are made a part of the decision making with how they protect their assets, the care that they're receiving. So to your earlier question about when is it that someone should be speaking with an elder law attorney, it's as early as possible so that we can get the best benefits for you possible, get the best protection in place for you as possible as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you are asked many questions as people come in and just try to figure out what all they can get and what you offer. So let's say that someone gets approved for Medicaid benefits.
Yes.
What type of services can they expect from that?
So I think we can probably look at three general categories. The first is in-home care.
Okay.
So if you're approved for Medicaid benefits, we're protecting assets, you're approved for Medicaid benefits, there's something called a waiver program. So that Medicaid waiver will actually provide care for you in your own home. So that service will pay for attendants to come into your home, will make sure that you are ready for the day, meal preparation, it could be assistance with bathing, dressing, medication reminders, cleaning of your home. The main focus is on you, but if you are approved for those Medicaid benefits, you can get the care in your home. The concept is we want you to remain there as long as possible for the remainder of your life if that's most appropriate for you.
Right.
The next program I would like to talk about is we have something in Allen County called PACE, P-A-C-E. It's a beautiful program that's kind of a hybrid between a nursing home and in-home. So this program you have a facility to go to on a weekly basis if you'd like to. It is not adult daycare. At the PACE facility, they have medical care on staff, they have PT/OT on staff, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy on staff.
Wow.
They have meals that are there.
Yes.
And then finally, it may be that you have to have a placement in a nursing home or in a memory care unit. And you wouldn't be spending your resources that were protected. Your income may need to be spent on your care, but Medicaid would be paying for that that nursing home stay or that memory care unit stay. So those are three main areas of benefits that you will receive, among others, if you have your assets protected and you're receiving Medicaid benefits.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for breaking
Thank
that
you.
down. If you would like more information about Nugen Law, remember, it's never too late to protect your assets. So we'll have their website listed below, and we'll be right back. This segment sponsored by Nugen Law. Thank you so much for tuning in today. You can always rewatch episodes of Living Local 15 on Wane's website. And remember, it's never too late to live your best life, so start living it today. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow for Friday. Bye-bye.
Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.